Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this update. Thank you for joining us for this update on snow emergency removal operations in the city of Newark. This afternoon, you will be hearing from Mayor Baraka, as well as Director of Public Safety, Anthony Ambrose, and Assistant Commissioner at the Department of Transportation, Andrew Tenard. Thank you.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the people of Newark for their patience as we continue to work to clean up after this record-setting blizzard. Many of our dedicated citizens came out to assist us, and we are grateful for your support and continued belief in the city. Our residents have been a great strength to us during this storm, digging out their neighbors, looking in on the elderly, disabled, calling the OEM, making sure that we responded to their concerns, and even providing their own plows. Since our last briefing yesterday, we've made significant progress, but we know there's more that needs to be done. We've been reading the calls, we've been reading the emails, the social media, listen to the calls, understand people's frustration, and the blizzard has really crippled our city in a way that we have not experienced in recent history, and we appreciate everybody's patience. I want to begin by sharing some of the immediate priorities. We are currently dealing with medical emergencies. As many of you know, we have transported dialysis patients and others requiring immediate medical assistance to facilities. As a result, I'm pleased that we have not experienced any fatalities during this storm here in the city of Newark, thanks to our emergency service guys. Our next priority is the safe passageway of our streets. I just want to caution people that when we say safe passageways, we don't mean that the streets are going to look like they did in July. However, this means that we will have a safe egress and ingress for citizens as well as emergency vehicles to go in and out of their homes. Since last evening, more than 600 complaints of requests for snow clearing on the city has been resolved. We have removed 148 of the 152 vehicles that have been disabled since last night. We're blocking public passageways, emergency vehicles, and snow plows. Thanks to the New Jersey Department of Transportation, the governor's office, at our peak, we have had almost 200 crews on the street for street cleanup. The next step is removal, and the county has authorized us for dumping sites that they've provided us. We all coming together because of the good citizens of this city, and we appreciate people's continued support and patience around getting this blizzard clean. I love the fact, though, that Newark feels like we are the biggest city in the tri-state area right now because we get all of the coverage. It's beautiful. But, you know, we are working hard, as many other cities are, as well as D.C., as well as Baltimore, as well as the cities that are surrounding us, trying to deal with almost 2.5 feet of snow that we got in one day, and we're moving. We're 2.5 days later, and I think that we are making considerable progress going forward. I ask that people be patient, and we'll get through this.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. My name is Andrew Tenard. I'm the Assistant Commissioner of Operations at the New Jersey Department of Transportation. And I'd like to just recap a little bit beginning yesterday. The state received an assistance call from Essex County around the noon time frame. That was quickly turned over to the DOT about the same time. We had a quick coordination meeting here in Newark at this facility in less than 2 hours, and in less than 6 hours after the initial call, we had our first workers from the state here on site beginning to help remove snow here from Newark. The mayor and his staff and the entire people here have been fantastic. We've quickly gelled as one team. Feel that you know, we're all synced up, and we're going to get this done, as the mayor said. Yesterday, our goal was to try to create about 5 teams and disperse them around the city. It took us all night to achieve that, but as of 10 o'clock this morning, we did have 5 teams in place. The cumulative of those teams is about 54 trucks, 17 front end loaders, 54 trucks, 17 front-end loaders, 27 skid steers, and 89 personnel. That's operators and supervisors. We are working 12-hour shifts from 12 to 12 AB shifts. So we're going to be having a new set of people coming in around the noon time frame. As of 10 o'clock this morning, the New Jersey Department of Transportation removed 213 truckloads of snow, which equates to about 1,704 tons of snow. And it's a little hard to say because not every street or block is exactly constructed the same way, but looking at maps, it's somewhere about 20 to 25 streets that the DOT has helped Newark clear out since we started last evening. That's all I have.
I just want to add as well that the Department of Transportation has been incredibly helpful to us. Their staff has supplemented the vendors that we have had, as well as Newark staff as well. So we have well over, in my estimation, enough crews out here to get this job done. We are going to stay at it as steadily and consistent as we can. And we just, again, implore people to be patient with us, and we'll get this thing together. Questions? Yes.
There's a lot of residents have their cars plowed in pretty good on the side streets where they park. We're taking enormous effort to get the snow out of there. Any message to them?
Well, again, we ask you to be patient. We have to plow the street first. And many, I was out last night to about 3 o'clock in the morning. Many residents, when they saw the street plowed, they came out and they began digging themselves out. Their neighbors actually came and helped them dig themselves out. And there have been people who have been calling us here at OEM, some of the seniors and elderly who needed help with that, and we've been sending crews up to help them dig their cars and things out as well.
Are there any plans for possible reimbursement for residents that were forced to plow themselves or plow neighbors?
Reimbursements for people to plow their cars out? No, I mean that would be across the state. If we did that, I think every resident in the entire state of New Jersey and the country that have to plow their cars out during a snowstorm would be asking for reimbursement. I don't know if the president or the governor is ready to give out money for people for plowing their cars out of the snow.
What is your main focus, like, for as far as different neighborhoods in the city? Like, what parts of the city do you feel like are getting it the worst, that still have the most work to do? Where are you focused?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's just one area. I think there's a lot of side streets in our city that we're trying to hit. Side streets that are not off main roads, even on the side and around the corner kind of side streets that people are calling in. That we've been hitting last night and we're going to have to do today, this morning. We're focusing a lot of our energy today around some of the lower west ward, some of the central ward sites that we think have those little small streets. So we're working on that right now.
I'm sorry, do you have a time estimate on when everything you think will be reasonably clear? And also, part B, school tomorrow?
Every day we make those assessments. I can't give you a time frame, but you know, we are a lot better off today than we were yesterday and the day before that. So
yesterday it was said the city was looking to hire emergency contractors to help with the plow and things like that. Did you have contracts in place prior to the storm to help with this?
Of course, we have to have contracts in place. I mean, every municipality in the state of New Jersey has contracts in place. Most people do not remove the snow by themselves. So everybody has outside vendor contracts. We have them. We have to compete with everybody else who's getting these same vendors to do the work that they're doing. But we have had considerable amount of vendors that have supported us and are still coming in to support us as well outside of DOT.
Residents out there are really still pretty angry and are claiming that the city dropped the ball on this whole operation from the beginning to now. What would you say to those residents?
Well, people have a right to be angry. I mean, they have a right to be frustrated and upset. They're inconvenienced, and when people are inconvenienced, they're going to be angry, they're going to be frustrated. I mean, they have a right to express themselves. We do live in a democracy. We're not going to go to them and burn their house down because they're angry. They should be. We're doing our best to get them out of this situation, and we're going to continue to work and move forward until we clear them out. I mean, that's It's a difficult storm. It hit us hard, and we were out here trying to make it work.
Man, what are some of the things that so far, I know it's kind of early on in terms of doing a total assessment, but what are some of the things you've learned so far that you like what you've done, and you want to continue it to for next year or the next storm?
Right.
That you say that this worked, this didn't work. What are some?
Well, I think in hindsight, you always wish you had. If you have 100, you wish you had 200. If you had 1,000, you wish you had 2,000. I honestly believe even if we had all of the crews that we have now on the first day, we still wouldn't have been able to clear everything in one day. I think it would have took us some time to get it up. It's a serious snowstorm, blizzard, and these side streets, some of the equipment that we have, even vendors have, couldn't get down those side streets. We need bobcats. We need all kinds of equipment that the state DOT guys have and that other folks have, and we have to put together a strategy that involves everybody when you have a blizzard of this magnitude. That we have to put together a plan that involves everybody to come together. Yes.
With this blizzard, what were some of the major issues that you were facing with clearing the streets?
Well, major issues, of course, were cars were abandoned in the middle of the street, trying to respond to those, trying to get EMS and fire engines and emergency vehicles through the streets. That became a problem because they also got stuck, and we had to remove those from the street. So our initial operation turned into a rescue operation early on. After we were able to do that, we have to go back to that, and we're still rescuing cars and moving cars from out of the street. When you get in trouble, call us at OEM, and we'll come through and try to get you out of there. Yes, sir.
A lot of the people that I've been talking to out on the street have said it's been 3 days. How many more days is it going to be until New York gets back to normal?
This is Newark, not New York. You said New York. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, all right. So, well, I think that we assess this every single day. It's been 3 days. Today is the third day, and we're working. And I think we're better off than we were before. I mean, I don't think that this is an exception. I mean, I know many of us like to make this this anomaly that's only happening in Newark is not happening around the country. It's just not true, right? So D.C. is having a rough time. Baltimore is having a rough time. There are places in New Jersey that I'm sure you guys came here from that are not completely done now. So this is happening all over the state of New Jersey. I mean, if you look at some places in Edison, North Plainfield, Somerset, places that I saw reported on the news are still having a rough time. So we are experiencing what everybody else is experiencing. Newark, we don't have a magic button, and none of those other cities do either. We are working the best that we can to move the snow. Yeah, I would make the snow not come. Yeah, but, huh? Well, I think that ultimately, we reached out to the state. They came in. Maybe a little earlier we could reach out to the state. I think that's important. But they also have their own jobs to do and their own work to do throughout the state of New Jersey. And I think they were doing that to clear our roadways, our highways, and they did a very good job at that. When they were available, I reached out to the county executive to help us make that happen. He made the call. We got it together, and they're here, and they've been doing a hell of a job for us here in the city of Newark. The contractors that we have been doing a great job. These guys are tired. They've been going 24, 48 hours at a time. Some of them are leaving other cities, coming to our city. They've been doing this for a very long time. Newark is a very big city. So even if, like I said, even if we had 100, we had about 50-something trucks the first day on Friday. If we had 100-something trucks on Friday, we would still not, have gotten the snow cleared, in my estimation, Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. It would have been virtually impossible to do. Of course, we've been a little better off than we are now, but we would not have been done.
You know yet about school tomorrow?
Well, you have to call the superintendent and ask the superintendent about the schools. I mean, ultimately, I know he wants to open the schools. We tried to do it yesterday, but there's some serious coordination issues. Not only do we have to plow the streets in front of the schools, but they have to also get in there and plow the parking lots so teachers have a place to park, passageway for kids to walk to school. So there's a whole kind of coordination that has to take place that we've been working with the superintendent to make sure he's able to open up school tomorrow, hopefully.
Future snows for the rest of the winter. What have you learned from this, and what do you hope to apply? There might even be some snow. There's a rumor going around there might be some snow in the next couple of days. How will you be addressing that?
Well, I mean, ultimately, we're going to assess what happened here today, the magnitude of the storm that's coming in next week or whenever they're supposed to come, and make sure we have the adequate resources, the phone numbers that we need to have an adequate ground response in the time that we need to have it at. If anything, our response, our ground response, with all of the resources that we have, maybe a couple of hours sooner, a couple of days sooner, would have just gave us a few hours more than we have today. So maybe this morning we could have been talking about finishing up some things in the city. I wouldn't say that this morning. We would say we are completely clear, because I don't know if that's true. But we're gonna assess the weaknesses and the strengths of what we did and make sure we are more prepared next time.
I'm sorry, backtrack. I talked about the people whose cars are plowed in pretty good. You mentioned the city's helped in some situations. Are you saying that residents can call you if they need help with that?
Well, I think that residents who have been calling OEM, if there's an emergency situation where they need us, we'll come out there. If you have to, dialysis, medical emergencies, people have to go to the doctor, so forth and so on, we'll come out and help. But we can't stop our operation to help you shovel your car out, because we have to continue doing the streets in the city. But we have a critical response unit that is responding to people that have medical emergencies.
Last thing, traffic and parking in the downtown area specifically has been quite a nightmare since all of this has started. What advice do you have for people trying to navigate around the city right now with the traffic and parking and what's,
Well, we've actually been trying to get people to walk in the city for a long time, to use public transportation. Ultimately, parking has been a problem in the city for a long time. The snow is going to create more parking issues. It's doing that all over the place. So ultimately, people hopefully they use public transportation. We've cleared the roadways for public transportation at 12 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. The buses were ready to go. I allowed the buses to go. I called New Jersey Transit. I called the airlines. Told everybody all of the main arteries, the egresses in and out of the airport to Penn Station. The bus situation was all clear and ready for them to go on Saturday. And we did that with limited resources. We got these streets ready, but from Broad Street and Market, McCarter, all the areas around to make sure that stuff happened. So those public transportation has been available since Saturday at 2 o'clock. Any other questions? Thank you.